Now at 8 o'clock, a Gresham police officer set for arraignment this morning. He's indicted on more than 50 counts of sexual conduct with a minor. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joins us live with the latest.
Plus, the latest on multiple fires that broke out across Portland overnight and the two that caused a large response. And later.
Wow, we once spent 5 hours here without even knowing we spent 5 hours here.
Time flies when you're having fun, right? And there is a lot of fun to be had at this place, an arcade in Hillsborough that was named by Newsweek as the very best in the U.S. Say what?
What?
The very best where?
In the West.
U.S.
U.S.
Jeez Louise, give him credit. Big picture here. Best in the U.S. We're going to take you inside as the 8 o'clock hour of Sunrise starts right now.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us on your Friday. I'm China Green.
And I'm Drew Carney. We have not only the best meteorologist in the West here on the Sunrise
But the
Show,
best co-anchor.
the best in the U.S. This isn't about you right now.
Yes,
This is not about you right now. It's about this guy.
This is where I say I'm filling in today on our show. I'm Rod.
No, the best in the U.S., he's Rodney Hill.
Good morning, everybody. We have a dense fog advisory at the coast. It's not socked in everywhere, but it is cloudy up and down the beaches this morning. Here's Snook Winds Casino Resort in Lincoln City. And right on the edge of the screen, you can see the low clouds covering up the heads. Looking for partial clearing to develop, but temperatures generally in the 60s today. Beautiful start to our day here in Portland. We are just mostly sunny. Early morning number out the door, setting at 61 degrees. I have a 72 at noon. A little bit sunnier today than it's been the last couple, and with that, a little bit warmer. I take us up to 84 for a high. The weekend looks fantastic. Temperature-wise, we'll have that 7-day for you coming up in just a moment.
Thank you, Rod. All right, your time is 8:01. Let's take a look at your drive times. 54 miles per hour. You're going out there. Good job. Main Street to I-405 going to take you 9 minutes. Patton Parkway to I-84 going to take you 12.
All right, we've got some breaking news to share with you here this morning. New video from overnight shows someone breaking into enclosures at the Bird Alliance of Oregon's Wildlife Care Center in Northwest Portland. The Alliance says that someone, the intruder, released some of the birds after they broke in. They believe at least one of those birds was killed after it was released, they say likely by a predator. They also say the suspect involved here damaged the enclosures. They threw around supplies. So this is a big mess this morning that the Bird Alliance of Oregon walked into when they showed up. Anyone with information about what happened should contact police. Meanwhile, a Gresham police officer is set for arraignment here in just about an hour from now. He's indicted on more than 50 charges of sexual misconduct with an underage girl.
Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joins us in downtown Portland outside the Justice Center. So, Thomas, what more do we know here?
Well, guys, police arrested Hector Carranza Thursday afternoon after a grand jury indicted him on dozens of charges. Carranza is accused of rape, sex abuse, and using a child in a display of sexually explicit conduct, among other charges. Carranza has been with the Gresham Police Department since 2014 and is now on leave. The Gresham Police Department began investigating him after receiving a complaint last year. The Multnomah County District Attorney's Office says none of the allegations Carranza is accused of are related to on-duty conduct or any criminal investigations he was a part of. In a statement, Multnomah County District Attorney Nathan Vasquez said, "Nobody is above the law. When a police officer breaks it, we have a duty to hold them accountable just like anyone else." Both the Oregon State Police and the Multnomah County DA's office are investigating Carranza. Once again, he's expected to be in court here in just under an hour for an arraignment at 9 a.m. Drew, China.
Thomas, thank you. Portland Fire had a busy night responding to 3 calls in just 2 hours. 2 of those calls had a massive response. So the first call came in just after midnight. Portland Fire and Rescue battled a large fire at an abandoned warehouse in northeast Portland's Elliott neighborhood. Flames were pouring from the building. Crews cut through boarded up doors and windows to get inside and knock it down. And while still on scene there, they were called to a second fire in southeast Portland's Lentz neighborhood. Some kind of shed was on fire, and there were concerns about a teen who often stayed there. Firefighters quickly put out the flames and confirmed that the teen was safe. Both fires happened within about 2 hours. No injuries were reported, and investigations are underway. Meantime, a family of 4 is safe after a fire overnight at their home in Battleground. So here are pictures taken by firefighters when they got there. It originally got called in as a Tesla on fire, but the fire chief says they don't think the battery caught fire. We'll keep you updated as we learn more.
Parts of Gresham are still under a boil water notice this morning. A temporary loss of water pressure may have caused harmful bacteria to enter the city's water supply. This notice impacts residents in the Kelly Creek neighborhood and nearby areas. So people there should boil their water for a full minute, then let it cool down before they use it for drinking, cooking, and brushing their teeth. The city says the notice will stay in effect until testing confirms that the water is safe again. There is more information about this on the City of Gresham's website. Police in the Dalles are trying to figure out how human remains wound up inside an abandoned storage locker. The person who bought the locker reported finding the remains on Tuesday. And after searching the U-Haul facility on West 6th Street, investigators confirmed that the remains were human. The medical examiner will release the person's identity after an autopsy.
After more than 30 years, the Polk County Sheriff's Office has ended its marine patrol program on the Willamette River. The sheriff says that a 30% cut in state Marine Board funding totaling about $24,000 made it impossible to keep the program going.
You're looking at a small amount for, basically running a full-time person out here. Taking 3 deputies to make that one full-time person. That's not a realistic amount of money to deliver the product that they want us to deliver.
The Marion County Sheriff's Office will take over patrols, but their budget has also been cut, so you may not see as many boats out as before. But the dispatch center is still the same, so if you call for help, someone will respond.
4 Alaska Airlines flight attendants are suing Boeing. All 4 of them were on board last year's flight that experienced a door plug blowout over Portland. In June, the NTSB found Boeing responsible for that incident. Investigators cited lapse in safety and proof that the door plug was removed for maintenance and was still missing bolts after it was reinstalled. Just last month, a group of passengers on board that flight settled their billion-dollar lawsuit against both Boeing and Alaska for an undisclosed amount.
Starting today, campfires will be banned on all land in Northwest Oregon managed by the Bureau of Land Management in an effort to reduce the risk of wildfires. So the ban covers areas from Columbia County all the way down to northern Douglas County. Portable stoves, smoking, off-road driving, and electrical tools are also off limits. Now, these rules are in addition to any fire restrictions already in place, so make sure you check what's allowed where you are.
China, pick any sky cam that we have in the area and we'll go there.
Let's do Chehalem Tasting Room.
I love that choice. In fact, we're already there. Look at this, the Chehalem Tasting Room Sky Cam out there in Sherwood, showing off what has been a really nice start to the day. Yep. Rod Hill, are you out there?
I am here. Really pretty. Those the layered clouds you see once again are from past shower and thunderstorms out in the eastern part of our state that have blown into our skies. One of the weather headlines today is we're going to see fewer storms overall east of the Cascades, which will eventually lead to less cloudiness drifting into the valley, which means more sun than we've had lately, and that will lead to warmer temperatures than we've had lately. So it all kind of goes together. The one spot that's been getting some rain much of the morning, just been kind of circling around, is this spot here. This is in Gilliam County. There's Condon, Arlington up to the north. There's the Dalles back here to the west. No lightning detected with this, but some decent rain showers in terms of rain rates. We had 1,200 of an inch in John Day yesterday, and the wet spot was down at Klamath Falls where they picked up 81 100ths of an inch. So some decent downpours with the lightning areas, and that's one reason why we haven't had that much in the way of new fire starts this week, because we've had some beneficial rain with the storms. Hopefully that'll be the case today with whichever storms develop. Here's our sunny sky. You're in Washington County looking off to the west, and it's just sunny and gorgeous. 61 from the Reserve Vineyards and Golf Club in Aloha. Now, we saw the clouds looking off to the east from the Chehalem Tasting Room camera, and we do have other cloud cover showing up in some of our eastern cameras as well. 60 degrees in Portland right now, 61 up in Vancouver. West Lynn's at 64. Other temperatures, 65 degrees in Salem. Your temperature march through the noon hour, it takes us up to 72, and this has us up to 81 at 3 o'clock, which is probably pretty much right on the button. I have us in the mid-80s for a high today. The Dow is one of the spots that could hit 90 in our state, but generally inland it's going to be 80s today, and then partial clearing in 60s at the beaches. Portland, I've got 84, beautiful day. Partly to mostly sunny. Morning clouds of sun, 81 tomorrow, partly cloudy and 77 on Sunday. Not only not a hot 7-day, but we could have Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday all in the 70s.
Crazy.
Craziness.
I'm going to call that a perfect 7-day forecast, Rod. And our traffic reports this morning have also been easy peasy. I don't think we've seen any red on our drive times this morning. We are starting to see a little bit of a slowdown. I mean, not much at all, but a little bit of slowing on 26 East. You see there at the top of your screen, Brookwood Parkway to I-405. That is now a 15-minute drive, but overall, things have been really smooth out there on our local freeways. Today, not only August the 1st, it's also the first day of this year's KGW School Supply Drive. One of the easiest ways you can help is by going online. Go to kgw.com/school and click the Donate Cash button. When you give online, by the way, you're going to get something back. We're going to give you a Columbia Sportswear Employee Store Pass. Also, a heads up, next week, On Point Community Credit Union is stepping up. They're going to donate $5 every time someone gives just $1 at one of their branches. A big thanks this morning to On Point Community Credit Union, Safeway, and Rick's Custom Fencing for everything they're doing to make this year's supply drive a success.
Still ahead on Sunrise, the latest on the investigation into a case of severe turbulence that forced a Delta Airlines flight to make an emergency landing and sent dozens to the hospital. But first,
it's deadline day for President Trump sweeping tariffs against trading partners around the world. I'm Alice Barr in Washington. Coming up, we'll give you the latest details, including some last-minute changes.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
President Trump's tariffs that were supposed to start today will now begin next Thursday for countries that have not reached a trade deal with the U.S.
That means some U.S. trading partners have a little more time to negotiate. NBC's Alice Barr has the latest for us from Washington, D.C.
It's deadline day for President Trump's sweeping tariffs, resetting global trade relations. He moved to formalize tariff rates of at least 10 to 15% for most countries, some soaring up to 30, 40, even 50%, now set to take effect August 7th.
We have made a few deals today that are excellent deals for the country. You know, we're taking in literally trillions of dollars for the country.
The president touting agreements with the European Union, Japan, and South Korea, though deals with other top trading partners, Canada, Mexico, and China, remain unresolved. Mexico getting a 90-day extension to keep negotiating. China's high rates pause too, with the Treasury Secretary noting significant progress toward a deal.
I'm confident that it will be done, but it's not 100% done.
But Canada, where months of trade tensions have bruised U.S. relations, still faces a punishing 35% tariff rate.
They have to pay a fair rate. That's all. It's very simple.
In a new phone interview with NBC News, President Trump saying the more than $26 billion in tariff revenue the Treasury Department reported last month is just the beginning. Though that money comes from U.S. businesses paying more to import materials and goods from abroad and often passing added costs on to customers, a concern underscored by Democrats.
It's estimated the average household pays $2,400 a year extra. That sure doesn't sound like a golden age to me.
As the president tells NBC News, the only price spiking is the hundreds of billions of dollars coming into the U.S. The president's tariff strategy faces a legal challenge in federal appeals court right now from small businesses that sued, arguing he can't impose tariffs of this magnitude without congressional approval. The case is likely destined for the Supreme Court. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Meantime, the FAA says that it will investigate a case of severe turbulence that forced a Delta Airlines flight headed to Europe to make an emergency landing in Minneapolis.
Yeah, more than 24 people had to be taken to the hospital. NBC's Jesse Kirsch has more after talking with some of those passengers.
This morning, we're hearing firsthand from Delta passengers about their terrifying experience at 37,000 feet.
This was probably the closest experience I've had to thinking about death.
Jan and Joseph Carbone were on their way to Kenya, where they run vision clinics for children.
This was unlike anything we've ever experienced. It honestly felt like it was tearing the plane apart.
Passengers saying over the course of several minutes, they experienced multiple violent, jarring drops.
This was severe turbulence, and it was due to a massive thunderstorm that was building up over Wyoming.
With 288 people on board, the Airbus 330 was flying above the thunderstorm. But according to aviation experts, the storm was so powerful, it likely created a series of updrafts, which caused the severe turbulence. The plane forced to make an emergency landing in Minneapolis, where emergency teams were waiting to help more than 24 injured.
It's a heavy Airbus, and they do have a medical emergency on board.
Leanne Nash and her husband were going to visit their son in Spain.
Without absolutely any warning, we hit what, appears to be like a brick wall.
Leanne says flight attendants, drink carts, and anyone else not buckled in literally went flying about the cabin.
We dropped about 1,500 feet very quickly, little anti-gravity going on there.
Aviation experts say extreme summer heat can supercharge violent storms, creating severe turbulence. Flights over mountain ranges can be especially vulnerable. And experts say climate change is making that risk even worse. In a statement, Delta says they are cooperating with the NTSB on an investigation and that they personally reached out to customers who were on the flight. As for the Carbones, they rebooked on another flight.
We're a day late, but not $1 short.
So overall, air traffic control and the meteorologists that also work hand in hand with these flight forecasts do a terrific job on identifying potential turbulent area and keeping the aircraft either going around it or over it or below it. I mean, the weather maps definitely give you layered detail of what the winds are doing, kind of on horizontal layers. Now, what was interesting in this particular story, they talked about flying over the top of a thunderstorm. Yeah. Keep in mind, some of these thunderstorms, it wouldn't have been the case this time, can go up as high as 60,000 feet in the atmosphere, crazy high. So I'm assuming these tops didn't go above 25 or 30 because the flight was going over the top of them.
You said something about updrafts.
Well, updrafts meaning the thunderstorm, the top of the thunderstorm clouds are here, so they're thinking it's okay to fly over the top of it, just going by what the story said. But they weren't expecting the updrafts vertically to shoot above probably where the active thunderstorm was, and they got caught in that. So you could make the argument, should you be going around a thunderstorm in that situation, period? But unfortunately, sometimes you're the first one to run into turbulence, and then that message goes out. Then the other airliners in that same airspace will be advised, and they will avoid it. Yes.
In case anyone's wondering, who's this guy? What does he know? Not only is he the best meteorologist in the area, he's also a former flight attendant with TWA, so you probably went through a lot of the stuff.
You know, I flew for 3.5 years, only got caught once in severe turbulence, and it was during a meal service. And as they said, you know, in that story, totally unexpected, no warning. We were doing meal service. I got thrown off my feet, literally into a row of passengers where we had just put their meal trays down. So you can imagine what a mess that was. Yep. We had a couple of people banged up on that flight. They had first aid, but nothing serious. But they always tell you, keep your seatbelt fastened, period, when you're in your seat. Do it. Here's a look at our severe thunderstorm. Pardon me, let me back up. This is not a severe thunderstorm map. This is technically a convective outlook, which means you've got vertical currents rising, leading to cumulus towers building that can lead to thunderstorm development. And again, it's all possible, generally southern Oregon and then near to east of the Cascades today. The big headline today in our region, though, is while we, yes, expect more thunderstorm development, central, eastern, southern areas, we do not expect the number of storms today that we have seen each day going back to Monday. So fewer storms, fewer clouds blowing off of those storms will mean more sunshine for us in the North Valley, especially here in Portland, than we have been seeing. Here's Futurecast, pretty quiet at 11 o'clock, showing partial clearing at the coast, maybe by 11, maybe not, but sun in the valley. And then this afternoon, the pattern we've been seeing. Scattered storms around central Oregon and out east, but not as many as we've been seeing. In fact, the red flag warning for fire danger dropped for two reasons. Number one, not as much lightning expected today. And maybe also factoring in is the fact that so far this week, the lightning has come more than not with good downpour rains. I mean, Klamath Falls had 81 to 100 of an inch down in Klamath County yesterday. So, you know, obviously if it's pouring when you have lightning, that dilutes the fire threat. Morning cloud cover tomorrow morning, at least in Portland and Vancouver, we're thinking along the coast, and then clearing out tomorrow during the day. The weekend overall looks great. We do have clouds at the beach, and we also have some areas of dense fog. Here's Chinook Winds Casino Resort in Lincoln City, 55 degrees. Here's the golf course camera out of Persimmon Golf and Country Club looking off to the east. You can just see Mount Hood. So some areas are still looking at cloudiness that's drifted in from those storms, but during the day, those clouds will be kind of clearing out. And I think when we look back, we'll go, it was mostly sunny than partly cloudy today. But currently, there are clouds drifting overhead. We're at partly cloudy, 61. Other numbers, no weather-related issues except for the showers we have that are out in that Gilliam, Morrow County area. Sherman County could be getting some rain out there east of the Dalles as well. 69 degrees there in Wasco County, all dry right now. Valley forecast numbers for you. Upper 80s today, so warm, but nothing crazy hot. Salem up to 88. Southwest Washington, warmer than you've been because I think overall you're going to have more afternoon sun than you have been seeing. Longview up into the 80s today. Battleground 83, Vancouver 84. I have Portland at 84. Weekend looks fantastic. Morning clouds and then sun, 81 tomorrow. Partly cloudy and 77 Sunday. No, what I would say, hot weather on the weekend. In fact, we could be 70s on Monday and Tuesday. First,
the KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news, live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Now to the controversy over the Trump administration's handling of the Jeffrey Epstein case. For the first time, the family of one of Epstein's most prominent accusers is speaking publicly. NBC's Hallie Jackson has the details.
President Trump this morning facing new questions about Jeffrey Epstein and one of the convicted sex offender's most vocal accusers, Virginia Giuffre, who worked at Mar-a-Lago decades ago while in high school. The president said this week Epstein stole her away.
Did you know why he was taking those young women, including Virginia?
No, I didn't know. But I said, if he's taking anybody from Mar-a-Lago, he's hiring or whatever he's doing. I didn't like it, and we threw him out.
Now, the family of Giuffre, who died by suicide in April, is speaking publicly.
It does make us question how much did he know?
And responding to this moment Tuesday on Air Force One, as the president referenced Epstein and Giuffre.
He stole her. And by the way, she had no complaints about us, as you know. None whatsoever.
What went through your mind when you heard that?
I think we were shocked by it. Especially to use the term stolen. Because she's not an object. She's a person. She's a mom. She's a sister.
The White House press secretary says the president was directly responding to a question posed by a reporter about Ms. Giuffre. He did not bring her up. President Trump has denied any knowledge of Epstein's wrongdoing as he's come under scrutiny for his administration's handling of the Epstein case, with a chorus of calls from some supporters to release more information, a move her family says Giuffre supported.
One of our very, very last conversations on FaceTime, she had a little bit of hope in her because it was said that the files were going to be released.
Giuffre said it was Epstein's convicted accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, who recruited and trafficked her. The family now urging President Trump not to pardon Maxwell, something her attorney has publicly floated.
It would be an abomination. Our sister always told us that Maxwell was even worse than Epstein.
Meantime, Senate Republicans blocked a new push this week by Oregon Senator Jeff Merkley to force the release of files related to Jeffrey Epstein. Senator Merkley introduced the Epstein Files Transparency Act on the Senate floor. The bill would have directed the Justice Department to publicly release all files related to the investigation into Epstein and his associates. Our Stephanie Domerat sat down with Senator Merkley on Straight Talk and asked why he felt it was necessary to introduce the bill.
They should have been released under President Obama. They should be released under President Trump. And if there are powerful people who are involved in this, who are hiding behind the government blocking the release, well, I say hold them accountable. Let's get full transparency.
You can watch the full episode of Straight Talk here on KGW Saturday and Sunday night at 6:30 or Monday at 7 or anytime on our free TV app, KGW Plus. Ahead in our next half hour, Portland Mayor Keith Wilson is making changes to the city's DEI policies in response to an executive order from President Donald Trump. Plus, helicopters are flying around with trees attached in Oregon City.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yes.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
Good morning, I'm China Green. A Gresham police officer is set to be arraigned this morning on more than 50 charges related to sexual conduct with an underage girl. Hector Carranza was arrested yesterday. His charges include rape, sex abuse, and using a child in display of sexually explicit conduct. Carranza has been with Gresham Police since 2014. We are headed over to Rod Hill for a look at weather.
Hi, everybody. Happy Friday, first day of August. Beautiful morning underway. It's kind of partly to mostly sunny up and down the valley. The majority of our cameras showing at least some decent sun, including this one. You can see the Capitol illuminated with the morning sunshine, 65 down in Salem. That's a blue sky looking out over Downtown and the West Hills from our Rose City camera, 61 is the early number. I think we end up with more sun overall today than we have been seeing, and with that, a little warmer. 72 in Portland at noon, 84 at 5 o'clock. Your weekend looks terrific. Some morning clouds in Portland on Saturday, and then sun, 81, and then the cool down to 77 on Sunday with partly cloudy skies, and perhaps holding in the 70s on Monday and Tuesday as well.
.30 half hour of the Sunrise Show on a Friday. I think we talked about these little guys like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Labubus.
Yeah.
Labubus have taken the internet by storm. These plush creatures have been selling out online in seconds, sparking a huge resale market and, in some cases, sparking counterfeits. Yeah, all across the U.S., customers are reporting bogus Labubu vendors.
Shameful.
Yeah, some of them are selling fake knockoffs called Lafufus. Not Labubus, Lafufus.
I like that, actually, Lafufus.
The Lafufus have some visible differences from the Labubus. Like, some of them don't come in the official packaging. Some of them are missing the Pop Mart logo on one of their feet. Some of them have more than 9 teeth. The signature Lafufu will, pardon me, now I'm getting confused. The signature Labubu will apparently have 9 teeth. So there you go.
They open their, I guess you can count the teeth.
Yeah, we had that little guy out here, we were showing it as an example, and yet you can count the teeth. And that one had 9, because it was a Labubu, not a Lafufu.
How much is a Labubu? I gotta see this.
You keep working on that one.
And I don't want to dismiss, obviously if you're into this, you've spent money and you got a fake one, you're really ticked off.
Sure.
And I get it, I would be too. But it's kind of a fun story to read in the newscast. I enjoy listening to you read it.
Labubu Lafufu.
Yes,
China's
China's doing our research for us.
Don't yell out the number one.
Do you have any numbers yet, China Green? Are you still looking?
I'm still looking.
She's still looking. Okay.
Stand by.
Chinook West Casino Resort in Lincoln City. Dense fog advisory actually for the coast this morning. The fog looks to be more notable up north from Tillamook northward. Here's Lincoln City, of course, Central Coast. It's overcast, but not really foggy on the beach, but the clouds are low, 55 degrees, looking for some partial clearing there. Downtown Portland, we're off and running with a gorgeous first day of August. We'll keep partly to mostly sunny skies and light northwest winds all day. Right now, 61. I have it's a little bit warmer today because I think overall will be a little bit sunnier than the last couple of days. 72 at noon, and then temperature is 84. Interesting, the 84, by the way, in the climate book is the exact number of the average high in Portland for the first day of August. Again, we will be looking at scattered storms in central and eastern Oregon, but we think really far less activity than what we've seen each of the last several days. Inland temperatures, as you can see on the map, generally in the 80s today. The Dalles could hit 90 degrees. West winds in the gorge 10 to 20 miles per hour. And again, looking for partly to mostly sunny and 80s up and down I-5. Here's your weekend and your 7-day, which is really pleasant for the first weekend of August. 84 today. Tomorrow, I think Portland starts off with sun. Now, Portland starts off with cloudy skies. Salem, you may start off with sun, but the North Valley up into southwest Washington, a cloudy start on Saturday, then sun, 81. Partly cloudy and cooler on Sunday, only 77. And maybe Tuesday and also on Monday, we're only in the 70s. We have the chance of a shower threat for something light or not, Tuesday overnight and Wednesday, and that is your update.
I will match that pleasant forecast with a pleasant traffic report, Rod. All morning long, we've been seeing drive times in the green. Green means go, 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 and that is definitely the situation on these two drives. Check out Patton Parkway to I-84 right now on 205 South. People getting through that stretch in just 11 minutes.
Now to an update on a deadly police shooting that happened earlier this week in Springfield, Oregon. The 2 officers who were stabbed are now out of the hospital and recovering from their injuries. Investigators say it all started with a report of a man acting disorderly inside a car wash. They say the man attacked police and was shot by a Springfield officer while being arrested. Meantime, the man Portland police say arrested twice this week for lighting fires around the city has pleaded not guilty. A judge ruled yesterday that Aubrey Edwards will stay in custody. He faces 15 charges related to fires set in the area over 2 weekends. He's accused of setting more fires Wednesday, just hours after he was released from jail. Investigators say he set cars, garbage cans, mattresses on fire, damaging several blocks between North Portland and downtown. So police are asking anyone with security or doorbell video of those fires to come forward.
Mayor Wilson is ordering city government to adjust Portland's diversity, equity, and inclusion policies based on orders from the Trump administration. The mayor says he's trying to save $31 million in new federal grants And to do that, the city needs to comply with federal anti-discrimination laws. So Mayor Wilson says in most cases, it means city programs and services cannot give preference to groups based on things like race and gender. He says if the city loses federal grants, community groups will lose funding. The city's legal team says that Portland needs to adjust about 75 of its programs and policies.
Oregon Governor Tina Kotek has signed 4 bills into law supporting public education. She says the new laws will reduce bureaucracy and bring clarity to local schools. So here's a breakdown. One establishes a statewide accountability system for all public school districts. One secures more predictable funding. Another simplifies grant applications for smaller school districts. And the last one pushes for research-backed reading curriculum.
This year, Oregon leaders came together to pass bills that build on the fundamentals, making sure our schools are more predictably resourced, that they know the dollars they're going to get.
Back in April, Governor Kotek signed 2 bills funding summer learning programs for the next 3 years.
There have been 7 suspected cases of tuberculosis at the Ice Processing Center in Tacoma. This is the facility that houses people from all over the Northwest who have been arrested by ICE agents. The attorney for one of those people with tuberculosis says his client was recently at a correctional facility in Alaska where dozens of people were exposed to the disease back in June. Washington's State Department of Health confirmed the cases, but is directing all inquiries to ICE, and ICE has not yet responded to requests for comment. Portland-based Mercy Corps, meanwhile, says it has pallets of aid for Gaza, but is still waiting for permission to have it delivered. There's pressure on Israel right now to end what has been a growing crisis by providing Palestinians in Gaza with more food and other needed supplies. Photos of malnourished children and reports of starvation have outraged people all around the world. Mercy Corps says it has more than 1,300 pallets of aid sitting nearby in Jordan and Egypt. It's ready to go to Gaza, but the humanitarian organization says they haven't been allowed through for months.
So this is not a logistics problem. It's not a coordination problem. This is a political problem because we have unfortunately seen Israel blockade and commercial goods to only a tiny trickle getting into Gaza over the last several months.
Mercy Corps says some food kits were sitting around for so long they expired and had to be thrown away.
The Oregon Health Authority has issued a health advisory for Ekman Lake in Lincoln County. It's due to the presence of blue-green algae, so people should avoid swimming in the lake and doing high-speed activities like water skiing. You should also keep children and pets away from the area.
China, what would you do if this showed up in your backyard?
Burn it down.
Burn it down?
The house, the backyard, all of it.
That's not the reaction I was expecting. I was clearly just expecting a run.
Oh.
It is a cougar sighting. It's in Corvallis, and this is like right in the middle of a neighborhood. Someone took this picture yesterday after that cougar killed a deer and then buried the deer under a porch near Northwest John Place and Sunview Drive. Police say the cougar might stick around that neighborhood now to keep watch on its prey. They're telling people to keep small pets and kids inside, and if you see the cougar, you should call the Corvallis Police Department. All right, from Corvallis, we go to Oregon City, which is orchestrating a plan to boost fish populations, including endangered coho salmon.
Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz explains how city officials found a unique way to make a big difference.
All day long here in Clackamas County, helicopters have been in the sky, moving whole trees hundreds of yards before plopping them in the Abernathy Creek, all in hopes of restoring fish populations. Members of the Oregon City Watershed Council say fish like coho salmon, steelhead trout, and lampreys thrive in water with wood. Those logs create deep, cool, clean pools of water where fish spawn. Historically, Abernathy Creek was chock full of that habitat. But that changed when people started logging in the area and instead using the creek to move wood. Now, through a project that's been 10 years in the making, helicopters are carting almost 300 logs back into the water to restore the habitat.
The landscape that we live on is a landscape that's been inhabited for thousands of years, and what we need to do is get back to a place where we have that kind of health of these native fish.
Tom Gaskell with the Oregon City Watershed says the project got a big boost with $600,000 in funding from NOAA. And this is the first time the Oregon City Watershed has embarked and coordinated a project this big all on its own, all in hopes of restoring native habitat and bringing a whole lot of fish back to the area. In Clackamas County, Thomas Schultz, KGW News.
All right, let's take a quick look at those drive times again. We're only showing you to prove how quickly things are moving out there. It is Friday light for sure on this first Friday of August. Oftentimes around this time of the day, we'll see some heavy backups on that drive from Wilsonville into downtown to the Markham Bridge. Not the case this morning. That drive is only taking people 18 minutes right now. Oh yeah, the sound of Pac-Man back in the news this morning because whether you're into Pac-Man or Mortal Kombat or some other classic video game, it's very likely that you can find it at this place. It's been called the best arcade in the U.S. and it's right here in Hillsborough. We're going to take you there after the break.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
We have now issued a weather impact alert.
We could expect conditions in some parts of our area to change drastically pretty soon, right?
And very quickly, yeah.
This is significant rainfall coming our way.
You'll definitely want to be extra cautious.
It's certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
We've got the potential for some tree limbs or even trees or power lines to come down.
Of course, when you hear thunder, it's always best to take cover.
On Weather Impact Alert Days, stream extended coverage on KGW Plus.
It's been really special to us to feel like we built something that people really love and connect with.
So Newsweek named this arcade in Hillsborough the very best in all of the U.S.
As KGW's John Adams found, the 27,000 square foot Next Level Pinball Museum has something for everyone.
Walking through the Next Level Pinball Museum in Hillsborough is like taking a stroll down memory lane.
We are floor-to-ceiling vintage toys and collectibles, signed movie paraphernalia, world's largest lunchbox collection, and then, like I said, on top of that, the second largest arcade in the world.
The arcade opened its doors in 2017 as a way for the owners to pay homage to their father, a vintage toy collector. Museum director Connor Stowe says they've been adding onto the building every few years since.
What I really like is we're nerds. So when we, when people keep coming and they keep enjoying themselves here, we're just like, awesome, let's make more games. Let's get more stuff to the walls. Let's add more to the collection.
Whether you are getting lost in a 1980s pinball game or enjoying some of the vintage toys, time has a way of getting away from you here. Just ask Oliver Bosley. He enjoys Next Level so much, he came back today to celebrate his 13th birthday.
Wow, we once spent 5 hours here without even knowing we spent 5 hours here.
For others, the trip through time allows generations of family members to relate to each other in a new way.
It's all just the nostalgia stuff on the walls too, being like, oh, I had that toy growing up, or I had that comic book too. So it's all just the little itty bitty stuff that really just adds up to it.
Stowe tells us it's a huge honor to be named best in the U.S., but recognition has never been what this arcade has truly been about.
Whether you're a 6-year-old kid, your mom and dad, your grandma and grandpa want to come in, we want to make sure that every single person has something from their childhood.
Just to give you an idea of how many games they have here at Next Level, if you play just one round on each one of the machines available, it would take you almost 4 days to play each one of the nearly 700 machines. In Hillsborough, John Adams, KGW News.
We've talked about this before in the Sunrise Show.
Yes.
I think she knows I'm going there. The Pac-Man game had its own song. It was so popular in the 1980s. I think you said before you don't remember that being the case. But I found it on the internet.
I'll probably recognize it if you play
And I think I can play it on my microphone here.
Here we go. Play it.
Here it comes. Here comes the big part. Pac-Man fever.
Yeah, I remember that.
Driving me crazy.
And just like that, we are sued.
No.
For copyright.
I remember that.
It's all in good fun.
Yeah, you like Pac. I like the game. It's even older called Asteroids. It's literally one of the absolute first little games. Come on, you had the little dial with the palm of your hand, and you just shot these little choo 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 choo.
You were shooting asteroids, but they were literally just circles.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah. All right, this is a map. If you joined us late or 8:15 or so, you probably haven't seen me play this map. And, you know, after I talked about this being such good news overall, I realized it's kind of a sensitive topic because it's good news in that it's August 1st, and we only have 2 large wildfires burning in Oregon, which is a really quiet map for the first day of August. And the 2 fires are solely, as being reported, are solely on grasslands with no homes or residences threatened. We have the Burdoin fire, which is in Skamania in Washington. That's a total of 7 fires up in Washington. So while the number of fires is terrific, I do realize if you're watching us from the gorge, which has been the tragedy of the fire season so far, the 2 separate fires, one on the Oregon side, one on the Washington side, that have taken those homes, I feel for you. And to you, I understand this has been one of the worst fire seasons ever. So what I'm doing here is pointing out nearly, if you look at the 2 states as a whole, the number of fires and where we stand right now is terrifically good news. And let's hope that we keep the overall number of fires down as we march through August and September. Obviously, we have no idea what is out there yet to come, but right now things are fairly quiet. Radar is showing some rain around Condon and then up around Morrill and Arlington. If this keeps going, it'll get up in your area, pushing up to the north. There's currently no lightning with any of that. We are in the convective outlook or thunderstorm outlook again for much of our state, colored in the light green zone. The biggest daily headline is that we expect fewer storms today overall to fire up in central and eastern areas. So much fewer that the Weather Service actually dropped the red flag warning for fire danger. And so far, a lot of the lightning has come with hefty downpours, which of course that's beneficial, right? So here's Futurecast this morning, 11 o'clock. Pretty quiet, starting to show some partial clearing along the coast. Does fire up the yellow and orange colors, some heavy rain showers near Mount Bachelor at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Storms moving east out of Baker City and LeGrand. And then we get into tomorrow morning. Another push of marine clouds in the morning. And Portland could start off cloudy in the morning as well and then go on to get sun. And then tomorrow afternoon we'll see more scattered storms out east. But again, fewer in numbers than what we have been seeing. Let me get you through some maps real quick. Beautiful sunshine from the Reserve Vineyards and Golf Club in Aloha. Partly cloudy skies over downtown from the Pioneer Park building. Out the door numbers, kind of where they've been. We're now warming, 8 o'clock hour, right? 60 in Kelso, 65 in Salem. And here is the money map, the 7-day forecast. 84 today, partly to mostly sunny in Portland. Morning clouds to sun, 81 tomorrow. A very pleasant, partly cloudy, 77 degrees Sunday, and we could be in the 70s on Monday and the Tuesday of next week as well. All right, it is birthday time. All right, our entire party today is for Caden, who is 17 years old. Happy birthday to you on this August 1st. Hope you have a great day today. Birthdays at KGW.com, and we will celebrate with you.
Quick traffic report because things are moving really smoothly out there. The one area in yellow is that drive-in on 26 eastbound. From Brookwood Parkway to I-405, it is a 16-minute drive at this hour. All right, important news to share regarding our KGW school supply drive. Today is day number 1 of this year's effort, and one of the easiest ways you can help out is by going online. Go to kgw.com/school, click donate cash, and when you give online, you get a little something too. We're going to give you a pass to the Columbia Sportswear Employee Store. Also, coming next week, On Point Community Credit Union is giving $5 every time someone donates $1 at any of its branches. Big thanks to On Point, Safeway, and Rick's Custom Fencing for getting behind this year's KGW School Supply Drive.
The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust on your time. Track how the weather will impact your day.
Certainly becoming increasingly hazardous.
Extended, continuous coverage of breaking news live from the scene.
That snowpack is still heavy.
Go deeper with in-depth interviews and exclusive reporting. All the local news you need, live or on demand. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. The KGW Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news live from the scene. All the local news you need. KGW Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free. On Weather Impact Alert Days, stay informed, prepared, and connected with KGW and KGW Plus. Coverage that alerts you to what's coming and how it will impact you. Watch extended weather coverage on KGW Plus.
Let's have a quick recap here of some of our top local stories this morning. A Gresham police officer is set for arraignment on more than 50 charges related to sexual conduct with an underage girl. That arraignment is happening this morning. Hector Carranza was arrested yesterday. His charges include rape, sexual abuse, and using a child in display of sexually explicit conduct. He's been with Gresham Police since 2014. Police in the Dalles, meanwhile, trying to figure out how human remains wound up inside an abandoned storage locker. The person who bought the locker reported finding the remains on Tuesday, and after searching that U-Haul facility on West 6th Street, investigators confirmed that the remains were human. Portland firefighters really busy overnight. One call came in just after midnight. It was a large fire at an abandoned warehouse in Northeast Portland's Elliott neighborhood. And while they were there, firefighters were called to a second fire in the Lentz neighborhood of Southeast Portland. A shed was on fire there, and there were also concerns about a teen who's often staying inside that shed. Thankfully, though, no injuries were reported at either fire.
7-day forecast, a great weekend, especially if you consider how low the temperatures are going to be and the fact that today's August 1. Today, partly to mostly sunny, 84 warm. Tomorrow, clouds to sun and 81. And by Sunday, we're partly cloudy and 77. Now, it looks like we could have several days in a row to start next week in the 70s. And I know Matt talked about this last night at 11 as well. The chance of a raindrop literally wouldn't be much. Tuesday late into Wednesday morning of next week.
All right, let's take a look back at some of our favorite moments from the week.
Cute! I got to preface this story with two things. Number one, China has the hiccups, so at any point we could be interrupted here by those hiccups. Number two, oh geez. Second thing I had to mention, we don't typically cover missing cats on the Sunrise Show. Oh, come on.
I didn't realize this, but there is a connection to the city of Buffalo. I didn't know this, I really don't.
This is the first time you realize that Buffalo wings had to do with the city of Buffalo, New York?
I said I feel like an idiot. Yes! You think I'm the only one on the planet that didn't make that connection?
I don't think people take usually 60 years of their life to figure that out. Honestly. I'll go to baseball games and still yell. I mean, loudly, like when the guys are up the
You're
bat.
one of those?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
maybe once or twice a game. I'll just give it all I got.
China,
give it a ride!
Good morning, and thank you for joining us live on your 6 o'clock hour.
I'll let people know why we're laughing. Because normally we set this shot up with like Chris is in one little box and Rod's in another little box, but just a moment ago, Chris was like right, you couldn't see him, he was right here next to me. And Rod was right there next to China, but then they just scattered. I have an unrelated question.
Yeah.
Is that your cooking sweater you're wearing here on the Sunrise Show? What?
So I don't wear this when we're like on air because it doesn't look great, but I'm cold and we're streaming, and the streaming people are like way cooler. So
They're understanding.
they're understanding and they're forgiving, and it's cold in here.
In your defense, it is about 53 degrees in the studio this morning.
Got the blanket. I got
take this off,
the Uggs.
Oh, wow.
I'm so cold.
Just so you know, that blanket is a daily member of the Sunrise Show.
There it is, right
again.
It's cold.
The studio definitely runs cool, probably because we have these big hot lights above us. But I guess Rod and I, in these fancy jackets, never seem to be complaining about the conditions.
Well,
Whereas
apparently
it is miserable for you.
I can't anchor like this, according to management, so whatever.
See,
management's the problem.
Have you tried to do a whole show like that? That's test management. Let's see what they say.
Yeah.
This show, by the way, not through yet, because we want to bring back a story that we had 4 hours ago.
Oh, wow.
In our 5 o'clock hour, we shared this story, and a viewer called and said, please bring this story back. We want to hear it again. So here it is. There are cats, literally cats, in Somerville, Massachusetts, who are running for the title of Community Bike Path Mayor. There's a race right now, like a total race going on for Community Bike Path Mayor. Some of the cats running for this position include a cat named Barry, one named Orange Cat, and one named Minerva the Crime.
Okay.
And I guess this is now becoming popular amongst other animals because dogs, even a tortoise, I heard a parrot, they're all vying for this position of, again, this is the Community Bike Path Mayor race.
Are there people running for this position
No.
as well?
No, just animals, Rod.
Just animals.
Just animals.
Yeah.
Voting closes, by the way, on September 5th. If you have a favorite, you should hurry up and get that vote in. Don't ask me where to do the voting. I don't know.
Speaking of animals, you always have your dog's hair in your beard.
My wife does the same thing. She picks
That's attached.
fur.
That was
out of
attached.
Always.
Well, he gets a
No,
new
if it was
kiss
attached,
every
I would
morning
pull
before I
it.
leave
He knows
the
I would.
Hey, Sunrise Show. This is what we do.